What is up, ladies and germs? I am MTG Flux, and welcome back for another video. Today, we got another episode of We Draft Paper. And today, we are in the Ravnica block. We're doing a little throwback draft, since no one at the LGS wanted to play our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So instead, we draft Ravnica. So yeah, they were cool enough at the LGS to make us pivot and stuff like that, and yeah, life was good. And so in this first pack, there's some. I'm a big Izzet player, especially when it comes to Ravnica. Like whenever I'm in my like the color pairings matter. But I'm getting very much so. I was like, I gotta take Deathrite Shaman here. I just wanted. The card is so good, it's so cheap, and so like game altering, or not really altering, but like just value town on that card. So I chose to pass on my Izzet cards because there was a 3 mana red burn spell, and then also I think a cost reduction card, and then we get the Slitherheed, which in Golgari there's a mechanic called Scavenge. Basically, it's scavenge X or scavenge or 0 for this Slitherheed, or but anyways, but you can cast it. You can exile it from the graveyard, paying its cost, and then it puts counters, +1/+1 counters on target creature that you have based off its power. So this is just a scavenge 0, which is actually just really good rate. I could just exile it in the yard for free and put a 1/1 counter on something. I was also looking at Mind Rot. Mind Rot is another card that I would have loved in this deck. And there was a couple going around, but I just opted not to take it. So this pack was also interesting because I'm also getting, if you look at the amount of white and blue and Izzet cards, which like is just my jam. But so I'm like, oh man, this, and a land, Gilgate for Izzet too. So I'm just saying, like it took a lot of resistance to not jump ship, especially after this pack. This pack really pushed me, am I cut off? I don't know. Come to find out, I was being cut off because the guy right next to me was in Golgari. He had, I forgot what he picked, but it was a black mythic card into a good green card, and we were fighting over Golgari. Luckily, I got some pretty sweet cards in this deck, so it ended up turning out just fine for me. I am specking on a blue card here because, to note, both of my first 2 picks were hybrid cards, so black or green 1-drops. So I was like, well, let's just take a decent blue card and see where this goes. The spell here. So still like being toyed with in regards to like what to take. I mean, like what colors I should be. Looking at this, I keep reading this card and thinking it needs to be better. I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, I guess there's instances where a 4-mana 2/2 that needs to be blocked and it does want to be in the graveyard is one thing, but like I want the creature to have value when it's on the battlefield a little bit more. I think it's just a very bad rated card. It's uncommon too. I was just trying to figure it out. I kept reading it over and over and over again. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. Like I don't get it. There's a red burn spell, but this pack is also another sign that like, hey man, I may be getting cut here. We'll see. But this is an uncommon here, so maybe I can still stay the course. So I do end up taking it, but I don't think. I mean, there were some very close decisions to be made. But yeah. So doesn't feel too bad. There is a lot of kind of decision making in this because I started to feel the cutoff. Like, man, I need to look at different options, and it sucks to waste my first two picks on some potential nothing burgers. Um, so we'll see what we got, and then we get some Golgari, some gold cards in Golgari. So I'm like, okay, this is fine. So this is just a haste 3 mana 3/3. So colorless and Golgari for a 3/3 haste, and it does have a scavenge ability as well. I am looking at stab wound too. I think stab wound is really really good. Throw that on a medium sized creature to make it kind of nothing, and then watch them just melt their life away. But I take the haster. I think the haster is really really good. I think it's a good body too, and like a set like this where it's a little older, it's not as advanced and well statted everything in these decks. There was another point where Selesnya was kind of flowing in this as well. Um, yeah, so I ended up ultimately just sticking to my guns, sticking to my Golgari colors, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, yeah, a little haster maybe can work. Not really interested. Oh, that was the 1 mana, I think. Um, three, tap three. No, yeah, tap three and then make a 3/3 centaur, which is also really good. Another Golgari card, just a 4 mana 2/2 with scavenging for 3, which that's a much better rate. So 3 mana out of the graveyard to give something +2/+2 because, or gives 2+1/+1 counters because of its power being 2 from the graveyard. It is something that I want to hit the graveyard. So at this point, I'm looking at cards to, all right, so we're kind of doing the scavenging thing. Let's think about what we can do. Like, how do we get these cards in the graveyard? So that's where my head's at right here. Passing more Izzet cards is just breaking my heart. This card is good. No, this is the Centaur's Herald. It's just a 1 mana 0/1, but for 3, you could tap 3, sack it, and make a 3/3 centaur. I think that's fine. I like the stat line of 3/3 anyways, and this also puts more things in my graveyard for Deathrite Shaman and things like that. So, not feeling too bad. So I think I spec on the Disenchant because it also populates. I'm like, well, maybe there is some free token things out there because the pack isn't really good for me. So I think this is more of just a spec. Like, I can play it. I don't like a green on something here, but no. What did I take? Yeah, because the other one was Thrasher or Thrash or whatever. It can come into play with a 1/1 counter, but it cannot block, which for an aggressive style deck, it could be fine, but not for what I'm looking for. Not really great stuff in this pack neither. Just pick up a big clunky artifact creature. So when I'm seeing packs like this, I get nervous just because, like, man, should have been my colors. This should have been where I'm at. Dang it. So I just decide to cut off at least the fixing and take the Gilgate and kind of go from there. With the consideration of maybe splashing blue at a certain point, I'm just kind of speculate on some of those cards. At this point, I'm just like, well, I'm just going to start hating cards. So making sure the person that is it doesn't get like super fed, especially when there's nothing there for me. This pack was rough in the sense of finding my lane and what I was trying to do, because I had to basically waste the last 5 or 6 picks on basically unplayable cards. So that's not a great place to be in a draft. I will say, I was 3-0 tonight. I crushed. My deck was actually the nuts, but it was based off a couple cards. Deathrite Shaman was one of them. Highlight, super great card. But yeah, this pack, you will see why I become incredibly excited for it. And this, without this pack, there's no shot that I'm going. I'd maybe go 1-2, but this, I mean, it's just perfect. So I get really hooked up in this direction because I'm not being cut off. The person across from me is in Selesnya, so or it's my friend Vanessa, and that's her jam. I can always just kind of have a hint like, yeah, she'd probably cut me off on green if I ever am green and she's next to me. But she does it pretty well. She's a good little player. She's getting super good. So I got Golgari Charm here, which kind of looks bad, but I know that there's a lot of populate stuff, which that could be a super blowout card for that. So I'm not really liking this pack, but what I get past, I become very happy with. Which luckily she was in Selesnya and not Golgari. So I'm just considering it. I mean, I do like this deck didn't have a lot of removal or interaction, which is kind of hard to believe in the colors that I'm in, like being black. But this was funny. So there are some good cards in here, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the best removal spells in the set. It's a destroy target monocolored creature, but here we got the pride and joy of Pack Rat. Pack Rat. If you don't know Pack Rat is a limited staple. It's a win on its own card. It's a self-engine, super great. So it's a 2-mana star, and it's a rat. And it says pack rats power and toughness are equal to the number of rats in the battlefield. But its next ability is you can tap a black and 2 colorless, discard a card, and make a copy of this card called Pack Rat. So Pack Rat makes a copy of itself. I discard a card, and then so it's there. Now you got 2 2/2s. So and then you can do it again and discard another card, and then you have 3 3/3s, and then go on from there. The card is a self-engine, and in a set like this, like we're just kind of like little backs and forths, there's some bombs, but like if you have 5 mana, play Pack Rat, and it's not a tapped ability, so summoning sickness doesn't bother it. So you play your Pack Rat with 5 mana up, tap 2, play Pack Rat, and just hold up your other 3 until they want to deal with it. And then you pass the turn on their turn, you tap 3, make a Pack Rat, and it just makes that copy for itself. So super nice. This is a nice card. I never actually saw it all day. But it gives something +3/+3 and another creature -3/-3. Super expensive, but as far as like removal is one thing I'm really lacking. I'm like, yeah, we'll just take it. Expensive removal, still removal. But so Pack Rat was the name of this deck. Every time I drew it, I was winning, except for the last match that I had. He was in Bant. And he had a lot of flyers, a lot of bounce stuff, a lot of populate. And his deck was actually really, really good because it interacted really well. And this card, the Guild Mage for Golgari, also really, really good. It's not a tapped ability. It just gives +1 for 3, or colorless. In Golgari, it gives +1/+1 and Intimidate. And if you have 6 mana, you could just double pump things. Like it's came up quite a bit. Very, very good. But so yeah, like having that access for Pack Rat to be able to kind of do it instant speed gives it, the card is really, really good. It's notoriously a like limited all-star, like in draft, sealed. It's self-engine. It's just really, really good. I do end up kind of pretty fat on. I was looking at the 5/4, which actually would have been just fine in my deck. But I'm kind of thinking about especially now And to think I have all these scavenging things that I'm putting in my deck, and Pack Rat just puts things in my graveyard for more value later. So like it was in the right colors, and yeah, it was just it. This pack just absolutely saved me. So yeah, that was so round one. You will see some gameplay in this video because once again I played Lawson, and we always record our games when we play. And we've been playing each other about every draft lately, which has been a blast. I love playing Lawson. And we play round one, so you'll be able to see that gameplay. Yeah, guys, if you like what we do here in this this TV series that we run of We Draft Paper, please like, comment, subscribe. Any and all support goes a long way, and I'm trying to build this channel from the ground up, and any bit of interaction or acknowledgement or shout out or even critiques, I don't care. Like I'm here to entertain and more so show people my love for limited Magic and share some of that with you guys, and just try to be as entertaining as possible while we get there. So yeah, thank you for all the support along the way, seriously. All right, as we get in here, finishing up pack 2. That pack saved me very much so. Pack Rat. That Pack Rat saved me so much so. But now we're getting back into being cut off from the other Golgari side. Granted, I got a lot of gas. Like I got a lot of things. Like the synergy in my deck was just very, very good. So that ended up working well. What I would have wished for, maybe another. I can't complain going 3-0. It was almost not 3-0 because our last game went to time, and I was on the aggression, and I had him on like a 2-turn clock. And then, but like in our LGS, like you don't get the prize pack if you tie. So normally what we do, we roll for the winner, just so the pack goes to someone if there is a game going to a draw. So kind of sucks, but like there's no other way to go about that. So just to make sure someone gets a pack, we usually roll for it at that point. So, but yeah, I was just 1 turn behind because we were 1-1 going into that last match, and but I just curved out really, really well. I had a really good aggression and good value and cards to back up kind of what I was doing. But I was also trying to pick up my pace and everything. He was too. He was not slow playing whatsoever. We just had a lot of grindy games. And really, really nice guy. But his deck was sweet too. He just had a lot of bounce spells and a lot of just tempo, and with he was the one person that beat my Pack Rat, like me playing Pack Rat and not losing basically, because every time I drew Pack Rat all night long, I crushed. It was just really well. But yeah, he ended up just saying like, man, I'm kind of like on the back foot. If I draw my like one card that can get me out of this, then we can keep going. I'm like, all right, cool, we can keep going. But yeah, he was really cool about it, because not everyone has to be really cool about it. And but when you have people like that just like, hey, we're just going along with the game. Like we're not, no harm, no foul. He wasn't giving his deck very much credit, but like his deck was pretty solid. A lot of good interaction. It was a good matchup. It was a bad matchup against me, just with all the interruptions and stopping me from doing my thing. And then I had a Golgari charm, as you guys see already, and he had like a populate kind of thing going on, and it was like almost like a board wipe on one of his turns that like was just heart-wrenching. I ended up winning that game, but not without the lack of trying. But that was what basically won me that game. It wasn't even Pack Rat. that was the one game, that I won without even needing to see Pack Rat, just because that was so effective, and I was just doing I think I had Deathrite Shaman out, and I was just kind of doing that thing. So this deck was a lot of fun. It was a really good time. Once again, I had like a lot of good opponents too. Round one, I played Lawson. Round two, I played a good buddy of mine, Nathan. He was also on like Bant Control. He opened Sphinx's Revelation, and then I'm like, I hope you don't like have Supreme Verdict in that deck too, because that would be like an auto win against my deck as well. But he didn't, luckily. But his deck was like, he was all flash cards. Everything he was playing on my turn. Yeah, I mean, at this point in the draft, I'm just trying to make sure I hit my playables. I do like this 4 mana 3/3 trample scavenge for like 7, but like the scavenge for 7's kind of like whatever. And this is a 2 mana 2/2, basically a bear for scavenge for 7 as well too. Like those are like, I'm not really looking forward to like play, but also just trying to get playables to make sure I can fill my curve applicably, and then because I know that I'm being cut off. Like at this point, I knew very much so I was getting cut off, but that's why I was just grateful to get the Pack Rat and to make it happen. I mean, Pack Rat is legendarily just like one of the best limited cards, just because it's a self-engine. If you don't deal with it, you're just kind of done. Like, I did give up a game tonight playing Pack Rat, but like he had like bounce spell after bounce spell after pressure, and I forced to chump with my last Pack Rats. I'm like, no. But yeah, it was the card is good, and I got to experience it for the first time tonight too. But I knew Pack Rat's just good. Make it happen. At this point, I'm just kind of like, if I'm not seeing anything for me, I'm just hating cards. Like that was a detainment, a 4 mana detainment, good white creature, and I'm just like, nope, not for you. Not giving you that option. So kind of in the same boat here. And like there was like, yeah, that card in the front's like a 5 mana destroy target land. They get to look at the top card of their deck until they find a land card and put it in the battlefield tapped or something like that. Like super bad. I can't remember if this is Ravnica Allegiance or Guilds of Ravnica. I do not remember. Now I have to look it up. But this is the final deck. Super good. Have a nice curve here. Probably a little heavy on the 4-drops, which did come up here and there. I did pick up a stab wound, which was good. I have pretty good recursion spells, but now we're here in the gameplay. So getting game 1 started with Lawson. Lawson was on a kind of like a Rakdos deck. Got some aggression cards. Ravnica. Allegiance. I think it's Allegiance. But so yeah, Lawson's getting on the board quick, and I have my little 0-1 guy trying to set up to make a little 3/3 centaur. So oh, it's the Return to Ravnica. Yep, I failed you all. I don't even know. Didn't even know what Ravnica said I was playing. Um, but they did. They did. This was a. It was a $20 draft too, so it's not like they were charging us. This isn't a super expensive set. Still, it's still at a reasonable price. But yeah. Um, so I try to hit him with the trick of the giant growth, and then he decides to use his 3 mana removal spell to take care of my 0-1. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're completely fine with that exchange. Let's see what I got going on here. So it didn't feel like a 2-for-1 just because he basically used his whole turn on it, and he has a 2-1 little haste guy out. So hitting my third land. And I think this is a 3/2, and I can tap green and 2 colorless to give it lifelink. And Skullgari something another. At this point, like, I just try to slow up the game to kind of gum up the things, use some of his resources. If you choose to do that, I'll just. Oh, I guess I opt to. I opt to take it because if I wanted to, for however way my hand was set up. Just hit him back with some lifelink if he chooses not to play anything. Unlikely, but that's okay. So this is a 2/3 that he can thresh. I don't know what that mechanic is. To where he puts a 1/1 counter on it, but it cannot block. So he has a 3/4 for 3. Yeah, 3/4 for 3, but it cannot block. So I'm considering just kind of the exchange of the damage, but instead I just play my 4 mana 2/2 Death Touch guy to potentially just kind of get a little bit more value. And if he goes in all the way, I'm going to exchange this card. I feel like if I'm exchanging cards, I'm going to be able to outvalue him, like using them for counters out of my graveyard. And knowing that he's in red, his removal spells may be damage based, which isn't nothing. Green's usually really good at stopping a lot of that, and that's what I'm looking to do at this point as far as like the strategy to get through this game. And it's funny that I played Gigantic Growth against him, and he still tried to blow it out because I give him such a hard time for all the combat tricks that he plays. And but he got me on the combat trick that I chose to play. So, but that's all right. I still felt like I won throughout that exchange. I do not know what that creature is that he just played. It has that ability, but it's a 2/2 first striker, but he's choosing to use it as a blocker, which I think on this board is probably best against my 3/2 and then my 2/2 Death Touch. But that is a Pack Rat. I had Pack Rat in my opening hand, but I chose to wait to kind of draw out some of his removal or leave up 5 mana. Kind of like I was explaining earlier. Just tap 2, play Pack Rat. If they have a response to remove it, I just make another Pack Rat. And at the very least, I'm going to use multiple of his removal spells to deal with this while I'm going to try to continue to build my board. He's starting to get aggressive here. I do expect a form of a trick of some sort, especially when his attacks are not necessarily favorable. I considered, and I went with it to. I don't think this was actually the right play, but I am taking quite a bit of damage. So I actually take this block back or I'm looking to block it like this, but I choose not to. Because if he has a removal spell for Pack Rat, I just lose the other. I'm trading, or I'm giving up. I'm chumping with my Pack Rat token, and then so I'm considering my my blocks here. but I'm choosing to just take the 2 because I can just outsize him if this becomes the case. Because if he has a removal spell, I'm just kind of boned on the pack rat plan when I don't need to be stingy with my damage and kind of lean into it as a resource a little bit. And I'm good with trading 1 for both those creatures. So 1 card in hand. It makes the pack rat plan a little bit scary, but that's okay. But if he cannot deal with my pack rat situation, I'm just going to continue to do that thing and go off. It is having 1 card in hand, and let's say I draw a land, and I want the option to do 2 pack rat activations. It makes it difficult. So I only can discard 1 card to make 1 pack rat at this point. I'm determining how to go about. I think the best thing to do is just to pass a turn, wait till he goes to attacks. If you choose to attack all, which Lawson tends to do, then I pack rat block the 2/2 with first strike, and then I let the other thing go through. The other thing is actually, it has that ability, and it cannot block, so I can get in damage here. Oh yeah, I do have a counter on this, I forgot. Given the normal pack rat +2/+2. So that gives me something to do with my mana as well, while still leaving up a pack rat token. So yeah, if I can outsize that other pack rat, it's going to be really great. So basically making a pack rat, copying a pack rat will make that into a 5/5, which will then make it be able to block the 4/3. The 4/3 Rakdos card. Note that he's 2/2 first strike, still makes things awkward, and it can blow me out if like he has a removal spell and I choose to block to kill his creatures if he's attacking into it. Trying not to get blown out. That's probably the biggest part of it. So difficult decision, because this is potentially a big blowout position here. I think the right blocks are to block the 2/2 first strike with the 4/4 pack rat. And that Rakdos card's ability says it's 4 mana to basically fling itself equal to its power to a target player. And he chooses to do that, so he's just kind of down bad at this point. He's obviously flooding out a little bit, and I don't know what that card is. I don't think he would play it with that ability, because he would just kind of be dead pretty soon. So now I'm like, I don't think there's a card in my deck that I would just like not hold on to for another pack rat activation at this point, because he's missed the window to take care of my pack rats unless he has a board wipe of some capacity. But yeah, this is pack rat doing pack rat things. I'm kind of mathing out what these attacks look like, because attacking all like this, I make another pack rat that'll make a 6/6 and 2 4/4s. So that's 6 + 8, that's 14. And I'm at 8 at this point. I just kind of have to. He's tapped out. I'm going to get in there. So the pack rat out. I have 1 pack rat back, being a yeah. Didn't have anything. Pack rat did his thing. Pack it up. Lawson. Pack it up for the pack rat. Oh, the card's so good. So good. I love how I get to show it off too, because the gameplay just of Pack Rat, just because it's such a limited staple of like, there's a lot of lessons to be learned from a card like that. Just like self engines like that can be super oppressive and just take over a game. And there is cadence and strategy like when going about it too. So like there is a little bit of skill involved, but it's not a lot. It's just if you understand the concept of like, yeah, if they don't counter it, I just need to have 3 more mana available, and they're gonna have to use multiple things to deal with my multiple pack rats. If not, it's gonna just get out of control. So game 1 in the books. Lawson loves his. He had a strong sideboard, but he always sideboards so much too. Me, I had no sideboard. I was more so lucky to have enough playables for my deck. I had like it was perfect. It was just my 23 playables plus throw in 17 lands. I think I could have like I had one more potential playable, which was like the uncommon 4 mana 2/2 that has scavenge for 5. I'm just like, it's just not good. Or is the card, and it also says it must be blocked if able. So yep. So I had this game of Rakdos, and then game 2 I had Bant. It was more Azorius splash screen for like some fog effects because he was like very much like Azorius control. And then the last deck I went against, it was the Bant fellow with, but he had a lot of populate things, which was working out good for him. It was nice. But Golgari Charm, man, Golgari Charm. It's a board wipe in the right places. 1/1 birds hate that card. His deck was sweet. It's well built. Tempo, and the game that he won was very tempoed out. Like he just did tempo me out, and that's how that rolled. All right, getting into game 2 here. It was nice. We almost did a fire. One of our buddies works up there as well, but he gets off at the time of draft, but he hasn't been drafting with us lately because the Spider-Man set is a little less than appealing. I can't tell if that's the Deathrite Shaman or the 1 mana 0 scavenge for 0 1/1, but anyways, but we almost did a fire because we need 6 to really fire a real draft, and but we made him commit to joining up. But then the last second, 2 more guys came up, and one of them was the guy I played in the last round, and so we did have a pot of 8, which is good. It's bad at this time of year. Normally, like we have a consistent like 12 to 16 people. If it's a really good set, we'll have 20 up to like 24 regularly. People 20 to 24. So, it was good. It was nice to have 8 when we were all in fear that it wasn't even going to fire. So he get a little ahead here, but the home team's feeling fine. In the Pack Rat waiting room, just like I was every game. So we play. That's the 3 mana 3/2 and tap 3. It gets lifelink till end of turn. Feeling fine to make some trades here if need be. Lawson's. I almost blocked there, but his creature has regenerate. I'm like, oh no, that's dumb. That's a bad block. Let's not do that. I'm all about trading off resources just because my deck is super value town. So getting every bit out of every one of my cards seems quality stuff. So getting in for 4 here is pretty good. And I think I play the 4 mana 2/2 Death Touch. No, I play the 4 mana 3/3 Trample. That's what I do. So this game becomes kind of a non-game as Lawson can't quite get his second color in time. But he has to play this card as a 2/3 instead of giving it the ability to give it 1/1 because he's not in an aggressive place right now, which it's just it is. So yeah, yeah, that's basically it. This was a for me, this is a very memorable draft because I've never got to do the pack rat thing historically, and I love it. I love it when my LGS does like throwback drafts, and I always have a good time. And some of the decks I get are just it's nuts, and it's nice just to because I've drafted this deck before, and it was also at my LGS, but I drafted it before, but it wasn't like, and I was doing really cool things then too. But every time we do any form of throwback drafts, it's just a good time. So very enjoyable experience. So yeah, and like Golgari is not even my like real space. Sometimes I'll dabble in some green things to go on and do things, but I mean it's not always the case. So unfortunately, that's all that Lawson has for this. And but yeah, as we kind of finish up this game, I do want to say thank you all for watching these videos. Once again, please support if you can in any way possible. Like I said, trying to build this channel up, and so we can provide more, better, and more quality content for everyone. And yeah, thank you for the love or lack thereof. Doesn't matter. I just appreciate y'all hanging out. Honestly, it's a pleasure to do this, and I enjoy doing this for everyone very much. So, but that being said, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we will catch you all in the next video. So, thank you.